So hello, I'm back with planning in India continued. In this, I'm going to talk about importance of planning. Why planning? What is what is the need for planning? What was the need for planning in India after independence? So what was the need? So I'm going to just put it here for you to see. See, while you go through it, let me just say that why do you think the need arose for us to have a comprehensive plan? That we had to set up a planning commission, etc., to make those plans, and how it was seen that planning was the only answer to the growth of the Indian economy. So, in this, let's take like talking about resources in India. The resources in India had to be used judiciously for the best results without wasting them. And the that is why planning was so important, that the economic and human resources that were available to our country had to be utilized in the national interest. That means our motive of the welfare motive had not to go away, from sight. We had to keep that as a lodestone, as a north star. We had to think only about economic welfare. We had to make it an inclusive growth where every one of us grew, where everyone partook in the growth of the Indian economy, partook of the benefits of the growth of the Indian economy. So, of course, planning was decided on the basis of national priorities, and especially uh, it was found that uh, resources could be now invested through economic planning in such sectors which had a low rate of return, but their development was very essential for the nation. So that was seen here. And then another thing which is very important was the creation of the economic and social infrastructure, development of infrastructure. And what is infrastructure? Infrastructure is the support system for any activity, for any productive activity for that matter. Like, for example, if you take the agricultural sector, you want development and growth in that, we have to see that irrigational facilities are increased there. Or if we are talking about the industrial sector, then we must see that power is given to them. Energy is an infrastructure. And most important, the man behind any development program, be it agriculture, industry, or whatever, they had to be good. They had to be in good health. They had to be skillful. For that, we needed education and health. So so that is infrastructure. So we had to so we had to build this strong infrastructure. And we found that it's always found that private investors are generally reluctant to invest in them. Why? Because of the low rate of return on one hand, and there is so much heavy investment on the other. So that was there. And then another thing was that if we just took up the market mechanism, then what would happen? In a free market economy, the government does not intervene in economic activities. So all economic problems are solved by the free play of demand and supply. The free play of demand and supply goes on. That's known as a market based economy. But this sort of economy disregards social benefits. So it is so it so we go around, not if we are in the market, if we allow market mechanism to come up, if India allowed the market economy, then it does not protect the interests of the general public at large. And uh, 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 there would be a disregard to the environment, because profit motive was the only thing, the only goal that they have vis-a-vis, as opposed to social welfare. So there was a need for planning, that at least if the capitalist setup was there in certain areas, they would be directed by the planners as to what could be given to them and how far they could go. So there was a need for planning in this area too. And important thing is that India in its constitution had written or given down what is known as directive principles of state policy, in which it was clearly written that the weak and the backward classes of the society should be given attention, and there should be prevention of concentration of economic power in the hands of only a few industries or few people. And another very important thing would be that to reduce disparities among people and regions. So this was as regards, you can see this, establishment of, like you can see this was, I can say that this could be the fourth factor as to establishment of economic and social justice in keeping with the directive principles of state policy. So when you go through this, you can always answer a few questions as to what do you think about the importance of planning? Why was planning so important after independence? And you can give one reason, two reasons, three reasons, and based on that you can make various questions. So thank you. We meet again.